What's happening, guys? It's your girl Mina. Welcome back to my channel. You already know what it is. Big up to everyone locked in on this decent, nice Monday. Weather's all right. You lot know I'm always complaining about the weather, but the weather is okay. I didn't want to do a stream today, just with everything happening in the world. But I thought, you know what? Let me go ahead and do it. But big up to everyone that's locked in. Be sure to hit the like button and be sure to subscribe. Do we have... Oh my God, my lights are not even on. That's how you know. There you go. There you go. I look better there. It's more bright now. It's more bright. Big up to everyone. Be sure to hit the like button and be sure to subscribe. Boy, I was going to do a little nice interactive stream. That was the plan. That was the original plan. But I kind of had to scrap that a little bit. We got a bit to talk about. We got a bit to talk about Manchester United. Fresh off an FA Cup high. And it's like the club's in turmoil all over again. So we got a bit to talk about. We got a bit to talk about and reflect on. Erik Ten Hag, whether he should stay, whether he should go. I know there's rumors going around that he's been sacked. Guys, when you see aggregators on social media taking quotes from journalists, please make sure you go check the source properly. There is this going around. Breaking: Manchester United are set to part with Erik Ten Hag following an end-of-season review. This is one line from Sami Mokbel at the Daily Mail's article. It's one line out of an entire article about Chelsea and their managerial hunt. It's not an article about Manchester United. It's not anything new. It is mentioned that it's from the comments of Friday. I don't know if you lot remember, but Friday it was suggested that Erik Ten Hag would be sacked regardless of the result. And that is literally what the article is saying. So I encourage you all, when you see stuff like this, please go and look at the source. Check where the information is coming from before we all jump on the he's getting sacked kind of thing. I don't know what's going to happen. Like, I feel like United and maybe INEOS haven't really been in a situation like this. They haven't really been in a situation like this where they have to make a decision that could probably rattle the entire fan base. I think that there is a strong amount of people in the fan base that have changed their views or have now felt like I feel like they now feel like sacking Ten Hag off the back of the FA Cup victory might be a difficult one. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I too have reflected on the season. You lot people calling me flip-flop. And I think this kind of also goes back to the fact that I've never really had a preferred manager out that's been linked to us right now. De Zerbi, McKenna, Poch, Thomas Tuchel, Thomas Frank, all of them guys there. I've never really had a preference because there's none that I've really felt like my heart has been very clear on. But off the back of the FA Cup, and I want to know if any of you lot have changed your views. Have you been Ten Hag in and you're now Ten Hag out? Have you been Ten Hag out and you're now Ten Hag in? I feel like that result has confused many people. It's probably confused INEOS too. And for me, I'm now under the impression, well, one more year isn't the worst thing. Although, let me say this with caution. Yeah. This does not put aside the fact that Manchester United have had a poor season. It doesn't do that. But I look at what else is available and I'm like, are there really anyone? Is there anyone really there that is better than what we have right now? Are you telling me genuinely? I put out a tweet saying, guys, let's rank, the managers that United are linked to. Erik Ten Hag, De Zerbi, McKenna, Tuchel, Pochettino. And we can dash Thomas Frank in there as well. And I looked at that list when I was writing the tweet and I said, none of these guys to me is better. Because, and the reason why I say that is, I think Erik Ten Hag has had, like, I don't want to say the word process or progress or any of that stuff, but he's got 1 year left on his contract. I'm not saying give him a contract extension, but I do think that INEOS coming in across the last 5 months and making a decision. They could make a much more timely and a much more calculated decision off the back of a 1-year analysis in comparison to 3-4 months. Now, I do think this FA Cup victory has confused them a lot more because, like I said, Ineos have to tread very, very lightly with the decision that they make this week. They have to tread very lightly because they could easily lose the support of the fan base. A lot of the fan base, I also feel, when Ineos came in, felt a bit more confident in the footballing path that Manchester United might be heading down. They felt like, okay, Sir Jim Ratcliffe's coming in. He's putting football people in football decision roles. If they now go and sack Ten Hag off the back of this FA Cup win, I genuinely think that people will turn on Ineos the same way they want the Glazers out. I genuinely think that. And I think a lot of people's opinions have changed after that FA Cup game. A lot of people's opinions. Going into the FA Cup game, I said the result shouldn't change the trajectory of Ten Hag's time at Manchester United. That is what I said. And when I reflect, because we're humans, guys, we get to reflect on stuff and you can change your mind. This is the thing, yeah. When you do content or when you just have opinions on football, people think you can't change your opinion. You can change your flipping opinion. And when I think about the FA Cup victory, the season that United have had, Erik Ten Hag as a whole, I watched his post-match interviews with every media outlet he did it with. He did it with BBC, he did it with ITV, he did it with multiple other reporters, he did it with Andy Mitten, he did it with MUTV. And I just wish that we saw more of this personality of Ten Hag across the last couple months. Across the last couple months when the pressure was piling and in the press conferences, in the interviews, even when he sat down with Sky Sports, I felt like we saw a much more reserved version of him. Whereas after the FA Cup, let's be real, guys, he was talking his shit. Of course, it's easier to talk your shit when you've just won a trophy. But I would have loved to see a lot more of that because I'm not comparing them directly, but it's the similar confidence as Jose Mourinho. Like, people love it when Jose Mourinho talks his shit. Of course, Jose Mourinho has won everything there is to win in football. He's won a treble. He's won a lot. But Erik Ten Hag has won a trophy every year since 2018-19 for a guy who, and he called them out, that was unjustly targeted by many media outlets in the UK. Pretty much most media outlets. I think the only media outlet that really always kept a neutral side was The Athletic. BBC, ITV, the radio stations, Sky, TNT, any publication, anyone with TV rights, they literally made an example out of him throughout the entire season. And what did he do? He came out and he talked his talk. He talked his talk. And I wish we saw a lot more of that personality throughout the season, especially over the last couple months when the pressure was piling up. All he was doing was talking about injuries. Then, obviously, off the back of the FA Cup win, he's coming out and saying, well, if they don't want me here, I'll go win trophies elsewhere because that's what I do. He said, you lot, English media, you put players up here, you put managers up here, and the second, they lose a game or two, you bring them back down. He should have been talking this shit months ago. Of course, like I said, it's easier to talk the talk after you've just won a trophy. It's a lot easier to do that. But what surprises me the most is that the world goes on. Football goes on. Football will continue despite you winning a trophy. And the first news I wake up to after the FA Cup final is Manchester United and Ineos are preparing to do a review. Now, I personally think that, Kieran McKenna has now reportedly, he's not in the race anymore for the Chelsea job. And I think it's because Chelsea don't want to hold out for someone that they probably feel like will not come to them. And I look at all the other managers that United have been linked to. And we're actually going to get to it. We're going to talk about it. But you know what, guys? Before I actually start with today's content, I just have to show you guys this. I don't know what's wrong with Arsenal fans. Shout out to Igal. He's an Arsenal fan. What's more important, domestic trophies or league I just had to start the stream with this. Honestly, I had to start because when I saw this, I just could not stop laughing. How bad is it that we are justifying league progression being better than silverware? Football is a results business. Isn't that what we say all the time? It's a results business. We got onto Liverpool for celebrating, what was it, 98, 99 points in the league and finishing second. And there's people out there saying that they'd rather take progression in the league over trophy. Now, don't get me wrong. United's season was disgraceful in the Premier League. It was absolutely disgraceful. But you cannot downplay what United did in the FA Cup. You cannot downplay that. Beating people saying, oh, all I've heard, by the way, is easy path. United had an easy path to the FA Cup. Okay, early stages. Newport County, Wigan, cool. Nottingham Forest, they gave us a game. We just about snuck away with it with a Casemiro goal. We literally just about snuck away with it. Quarterfinals, Liverpool. Okay, semi-finals, Coventry. Arguably, some people might say Coventry shouldn't have even made it that far. And then Manchester City again in the final. That is not an easy pathway, let's be for real. It's a mix and match. It's a mix and match, especially to meet Liverpool earlier. I think if we met them in the semis, fair enough, but we met them in the quarters, a stage too early. But there are people out there in the world justifying league progression over silverware. Football is a results business. Of course, things will get better in due time, hopefully, in the league, competing. Hopefully, United will be in a position soon where they can compete in the league. But I'm so amazed at the fact that one particular fan base are just downplaying, they're even getting onto Liverpool. By the way, Liverpool's season this year, Klopp's final rodeo, whatever you want to call it, the last dance, the farewell tour, all of that stuff. There was no difference between that and Ten Hag's first season. There was no difference. There was really no difference. And people want to get onto people want to get onto us for celebrating last year's season. What they call it? A Mickey Mouse trophy. And then the same time. Anyways, I just had to start with that because that made me laugh. I just had to start with that. But before we actually get on to, talking about Erik Ten Hag, the review that Ineos are set to make, I think that I will say it's a hurdle for Ineos. I think it's a hurdle that they have to tackle correctly because, like I said, a lot of people might turn on them. But wasn't this a beautiful sight after the FA Cup, guys? After the FA Cup, was this not a pretty sight? Just this, what's it called? Guard of honor from Manchester City, which is so funny, guys. It's so funny because Manchester City had their parade yesterday. Their their quadruple 4 in a row, whatever parade. I would never have known. I saw little clips of it. Nothing. Of course, it's off the back of losing in the FA Cup. So I hear that. But did you guys actually see the number of people there? Did you not genuinely see the number of people there? I was laughing. I've seen more people at flipping Eid prayer in my neighborhood. I've seen more people at Eid Salah. Yeah, prayer in the park settings in the summer. I've seen more people at family weddings. Honestly. Ethnic weddings, you can have like 300, 400, 500 people. I've seen more people at weddings than I did at that parade. It was funny. It made me laugh. It was funny. And this, for me, I might actually get a picture of it and just frame it. I don't care. They won major honours and broke our record. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. Because no one else cares, by the way. No one else cares. I'm just saying, innit? I'm just saying. But anyways, let's go. Let's start with the real conversation. I saw more people in the local park yesterday. And funnily enough, it was raining. So that says a lot. That says a lot that you saw more people in the park yesterday and it was literally raining. Be sure to hit the like button, guys, if you've just come through, and be sure to subscribe. If you want to join the membership club, you can. It's the pinned comment in the chat. You get your badges, you get your emojis, you get your custom member content. I need to add some new emojis there. So give me some suggestions of emojis that I should add. And of course, joining the membership club supports the growth of the channel as well. What else? You can send in super chats with your comments, with your questions, with any opinions. That also supports the growth of the channel. The channel is growing, not too far off from 4K. So when we get to 4K, there won't be a celebration. When we get to 10K, there will be a celebration. But in due time. And of course, we've got a lot of content coming, guys. All I'm saying, this weekend, I will have the best vlog that's ever dropped on my channel. Make of that what you wish. Yeah, make of that what you wish. I can't give away too much. But I will have the best vlog dropping on my channel. So make sure you lot turn on your post notifications so you know when I go live. A Mayno emoji, say no more. I will add a Mayno emoji. I might have to get rid of that Ronaldo one, but I'll add a Kobe one. He earned it. He's definitely earned it. But here is Erik Ten Hag with his coaching staff. A few familiar faces there. McLaren, I don't even know what that brother's called. Mitchell van der Sutton. I see Benny McCarthy and a whole load of other people. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really know all their names. I'll be real, I don't know their names. But the main guy, by the way, can we talk about his fit? Can we talk about Erik Ten Hag's fit at the FA Cup final? Because my biggest pet peeve is people that don't wear socks with their suits, or they wear, you know, like the little ankle socks, and then they wear like they wear their trousers a bit higher up so you can see their ankles. But he pulled it off pretty well. Unlike certain other Manchester United managers, the women's manager that looked dead at the FA Cup final. But Erik Ten Hag, he looked a bit drippy, guys. Don't we think? He looked a little bit drippy. I can't lie. The fit was fitting. You know whose fit was not fitting? I need to find it. Hold on. Wait a minute. Don't go anywhere, guys. Man. Bro. When I saw this, I was like, what the hell? Nah. Pep wore a suit from 1973. That guy brought us. He brought his suit from H&M in Brent Cross. Like, he went to the outlet like 2 hours before the game. By the way, I saw the team bus. They were late. They were actually late. Oh my god, is it here? Here it is. Ugh. Is this the picture? I'm trying to find the pictures, but I've got to go all the way back to the beginning. Why am I on a Chinese website? What the hell? What the hell, bro? Why am I on what the hell? Sorry guys, I ain't that good with technology. How the hell did I end up on a Chinese website? I think my computer's gonna crash. What the hell? It's gonna give me a virus. Why is everything in Chinese on my computer, bro? What the hell? What the flip? Okay, maybe I can't get the picture up, guys. Oh my god. Man can't dress, but he can get one more season. Ten Hag can dress. Are you lot telling me that fit was not fitting? Are you telling... Guys, that suit, tailored. Man United turned up, can I say? Man United turned up, the entire team. Now, well, I need to think. Because when I saw this outfit, I said, what the fuck? Like, what the hell, man? All right. We got it. I got it. I need to pause it. There you go. Can you lot see? How are they pulling up to an FA Cup final? This is how I dress, guys, on the weekends. When I got errands to run. Baggy jeans, a baseball jacket, and a pair of Air Forces. Like, bro, what the hell? Look at them. An FA Cup final. Look how they're dressed. Brother. Nah, come on. Like, that is so irresponsible. I can't lie. A whole cup final, you're pulling up in... What are those? What kind of jeans are they? Are those boyfriend jeans? Are those mum jeans? I don't even know what they are. This is how I dress, guys, on a casual day. Baggy jeans, jacket, backpack, trainers. The FA must be thinking, what these man won 4 in a row and they're pulling up like they're on their way to go play baseball. Nah, when I saw that, I was like, what the hell? Sorry, guys. We got a bit sidetracked talking about outfits. Sorry, my bad. They look like an American high school football team on a non-game day. They literally look like they walk fresh out of High School Musical. That's how they dress in High School Musical, guys. That's how they dress in High School Musical. If you like, Let me pull up a High School Musical outfit. High School Musical. Let's see. Nah, well, they literally look like Troy Bolton. They look like Troy Bolton. I don't know how it's acceptable for them to dress like that. Troy Superstar says, "Hey man, glad we won. Ten Hag must leave today." One person that's been really true to the Ten Hag out. Listen, I just want us to. Am I the only one? Can I say? And this, you don't have to be Ten Hag in or Ten Hag out or anything. Am I the only one that felt really overwhelmed with the fact that as soon as United won the FA Cup, all everyone was talking about was whether Ten Hag was getting sacked or not? Like, we couldn't even wait 72 hours to enjoy and relish in the moment. Genuinely, we couldn't. People wouldn't let us do that. And no one would let us do that. Opposing fan bases, our own fan base, the media. After the cup final, if you lot came here to the stream, I literally said, I don't want to talk about whether the manager's going to get sacked or not. Let's just enjoy the moment of winning a trophy. And it's a major domestic trophy. That's it. Like, and now immediately 2 days after, Monday, I think it was yesterday, The Athletic dropped an article straight away talking about, oh, review is gonna start. Bro, like I want tactical analysis. I want breakdown. This is not like the Liverpool FA Cup game, by the way, guys, where it was just vibes, counter-attacking. It was just chaotic ball. This was a tactical masterclass from Manchester United and the manager. Yeah, they pulled it off to near enough perfection. If Doku didn't score, it would have been a perfect performance. And I'm not seeing breakdowns of that. I'm not seeing analysis of that. Maybe I'm looking in the wrong places, but the media have to do better when it comes to these kind of games. And trust me, if it was Champions League final and Ancelotti pulled off a performance like this against, I don't know if they were playing Bayern Munich or another big team, we would hear tactical masterclass, that we'd see breakdowns left, right, and center about all of this stuff. That's what we would see. Manrick says, what a win, wish Varan stayed. We're going to talk about Varan because that news, I'm still not taking that news very well, guys. I'll be for real. I'm not really taking that news well. JJ says, despicable journalism and punditry to speculate on his job when we just won the oldest domestic cup in the game. It's not even that. It's just I understand journalists have to ask the tough questions. Yeah, I absolutely agree that tough questions should be asked. But I genuinely think that there is a time and place for it. You're telling me my guy just got lifted into the air by Lisandro Martinez being grabbed up like this, yeah, by his own player, celebrating. And the first thing you want to say is, oh, do you think you're going to keep your job? Congratulations on winning. Do you think you're going to keep your job? Like, I just think that there is a time and place for those kind of conversations. And I'm not saying be delusional and don't ask those questions, but don't ask it immediately, like 5 minutes after the whistle has been blown. Like, there's no need to do that. Big up to Troy Superstar with the super chat. Says, blocked any channel talking about keeping Ten Hag. Loving the cup, but Ten Hag's a spoiler. Review was done. He is a dead man walking. City could have won that game. I don't think. And maybe this is me being delusional. I didn't feel like City would win at any point. Maybe, I don't know if you lot agree with me. Let me know if you agree or if you disagree. But at no point did I feel like Doku scoring that goal was for me a consolation goal. I didn't feel like another goal would. I felt like United could have actually got another goal at some point during the game, especially in the last. I felt like the second half United were on the back foot a lot more, but that was because they were running the same play over and over again because Pep had no other answer. Pep even said it himself post-match. He said, I got the tactics wrong. He had no answer. You got Jack Grealish on top of the bus. What's it called? The parade bus. Yeah? Drunk out of his head yesterday. About to fall off and Doku saved him. They couldn't even play Jack Grealish because that guy's dead. He's crap. Well, he's crap in a system. His flair and his skill and his trickery, all of that stuff is dead. The only other chance I can remember is Haaland hitting the crossbar. Yeah? But let's not act like United were on their back foot the entire game. The first half, United had City on ropes. Don't make me pull up that video of Pep Guardiola gulping that bottle of water down in his H&M suit. Don't make me pull it up, because even Pep was rattled in the first half. I know for a fact he went into that changing room at halftime. Wallahi, he probably beat some of them up. He was rattled. He was rattled. There was a picture I saw of him and Ten Hag on the touchline. Both of them in their suit, but we know who had the better suit on. You know, I'm not saying this is the battle of the suits, but we know who had the better suit on. And he was like this. And Ten Hag was like basically like just focused. And I think that was before Kobe scored. It was just before Kobe scored. And I respect Pep for coming out and saying that he got the tactics wrong. Because a lot of managers wouldn't do that. A lot of managers actually would not say that. They wouldn't come out and say, I got it wrong. And he had credit for Ten Hag and what Ten Hag set up for. And by the way, guys, this is all I've asked for all season. I don't know if you lot remember months back. I just said, please, can we just play counter-attacking football? That will get us results. People want to talk about the blueprint that Oli left behind. This isn't just an Oli way of football. This wasn't an Oli way of football. Oli obviously knew the way to beat Pep and the way to beat City, etc. But I feel like a lot of other managers have set up like this before against City. And City are proof that when you nullify their main threat, what is their main threat? Possession. Yeah, line breaking passes, tiring the opponent out, and forcing an error. But if you nullify that, they have nothing in the bank. And some people will say, oh, you know, City fresh off winning the Premier League, they're hungover, they're this, they're that. But I think it's just a way to avoid giving United credit. Like, I just think that. Because this was a similar performance that we saw at Old Trafford last season. This was a similar performance when United beat City. Similar performance. Kevin De Bruyne, I will never let that man live this down. I will never let Kevin De Bruyne live down this last couple years, but in particular this season, the numbers of times he's been hooked in big games. I will not let him live that down. Troy says, watch the game 6 times. We were lucky. We'll take it. He also says, you are right. First 1-2 was ours. Second half, we were rattled. I do think, like, for far so long as well, we've criticized Manchester United players, yeah? Like, Manchester United players have not had it easy this season from their own fan base. They've not had it easy from their own fan base. But I also said I give them a lot of credit for staying composed. How many times this season, guys, have we seen Manchester United get rattled in the middle of a game? And it's like floodgates open. It's like the floodgates open. Bro, Galatasaray, Bayern Munich, Copenhagen, flipping Wolves just about beat them. Liverpool. There's so many. Coventry. There's so many times this season. Who is it at the beginning of the season where we had to come back? Was it? It wasn't Forest. Was it Brentford? Brentford. There is so many times this season that Manchester United have just got rattled mid-game and lose all composure, right? And I get it. A FA Cup final is only one game to do that. An FA Cup final is only one game in comparison to an entire 38-game season. But let's give them credit for being able to see it out. Let's give them credit for being able to see the result out, because, like I said, that wouldn't have been the case earlier in the season. It wouldn't have been the case. This is a wholesome photo, man. This is a wholesome photo. But before I get to that, there's someone in the chat that's being a disgrace. This KDB slander is disgusting. It's not slander. It's criticism. It is. Why is it we can criticize other people? Why is it we can criticize other people, but we can't criticize Kevin De Bruyne? I'm just saying, in my lifetime of watching football, I've never seen the star of the main creator in the team get taken off in a cup final, in a Champions League game, in a title race game. I've never seen that. I haven't seen it. And not all in one season. Not all in the space of a couple of months. Some people, I know he got hooked against Real Madrid. People were saying he was injured. Yeah? But wasn't Wayne Rooney sitting on Sky Sports saying that you play through injury if you love the club? If you love the club, if you love the game, you play through injury. We get onto Man United players for being too soft, for pulling out of games because they're injured. But when it's Kevin De Bruyne, that's where we draw the line. The criticism for Kevin De Bruyne this season, or in big moments, maybe not the entirety of the season, but in big moments, the criticism is warranted. I'm sorry. Same like Haaland. Mbappe was getting it left, right, centre during the Champions League campaign. Yeah? In the latter stages of the Champions League, people were getting onto Mbappe because he was going ghost. But when it's Haaland, it's okay. It's all right. Like, Roy Keane said it. Without scoring goals, Haaland is null and void. And sometimes that could be a hindrance to your team, and sometimes it could be a benefit, because then he might just pop out of nowhere because the opponent has forgot about him and get a goal. But you look at all the big players that play for City, and the fact that Doku was their best player and he only played a half. Phil Foden, null and void during the game. Haaland, null and void during the game. Bernardo Silva, null and void during the game. Kevin De Bruyne, hooked. Rodri, I think he did all right. I think Rodri did okay. I think he did all right. Everyone else, I'm just like, Doku was their best player, brought on in the second half. That says a lot. That really says a lot. Whereas, and I'm not comparing them like for like, but I'm saying that everyone that started for Manchester United made an impact. Whether it was a defensive impact, whether it was impact in possession, whether it was impact in transition, they made impact. And that is not me saying that they're better. It's not me saying that United have the better players. I'm just saying in that game, in that moment, in those 90 minutes, the impact was more effective. That's it. That's all I'm saying, man. That's all I'm saying. Troy Superstar says, Ten Hag is useless. Ineos know that De Zerbi is loading. What is this De Zerbi hype? That's what I want to know. Because if I was to think about, out of all the other managers, we're going to get to it. We're going to get to it, actually. I'm going to come back to that comment because I definitely have a point that I want to get across. But Marcus Rashford, I've seen people talking about him going to Arsenal. Guys, let me say this and make this clear. If Rashford stays or Rashford goes, I don't know. But if any United fan is wishing and encouraging that he joins Arsenal, you are unhinged. You are unhinged if you are encouraging that Marcus Rashford should join Arsenal. I don't care what you think about Marcus Rashford. I don't care how far you think he has fallen off. I don't care how much of a PR merchant you think he is. I don't care how much you think he doesn't deserve 300k a week. I don't care what your opinion is on Marcus Rashford. Yeah? If you are a United fan and you want him to join Arsenal, or you're saying that we should sell him to Arsenal, you are cracked. You are actually cracked. You're actually cracked. This ain't no Danny Welbeck. This ain't no Alexis Sanchez. This ain't no Mkhitaryan. Yeah? This is not no Mkhitaryan. And I'll go as far to say, and I think I was saying it, who is it? I think I was saying it to my cousin. We were talking about this. And I said that it would be worse to me if Rashford joined Arsenal than when Tevez joined City. It would be worse. Like for me, Mank, born and bred, Manchester United, made in, this is truly made in Carrington. We always talk about made in Carrington kids, blah blah blah. This is he is a true testament to that. Yeah, regardless of the ups and downs he's had, if United opt to sell him, you should not be flipping lobbying for him to go to Arsenal. If Marcus Rashford leaves Manchester United, and I don't know if he will, but if he does, he cannot stay in the Premier League. He cannot. And I don't know. I don't know him personally, but just from what I gather of how much he loves the club and he loves the fans, he loves the community, the fan base, etc., I can imagine that he would not stay in the Premier League. I genuinely think that. I would honestly be shocked. I would be so shocked if he stayed in the Prem, genuinely speaking. I don't think it's the equivalent of Sterling being at Liverpool and then joining City and then joining Chelsea. I don't think it's that equivalent. I don't think it's the equivalent of like Cole Palmer going from City to Chelsea. I don't think it's that either. I don't think it. Who else? I don't really think it's any of those recent equivalent ones that we've seen. For me, Marcus Rashford has had and I can't believe people are calling it PR. Like, I cannot believe we're calling tears and we're calling emotions PR. Bro, how far have we fallen off? Like, the dislike for Marcus Rashford must be that big and that heavy that we are alluding to PR for his emotions. Like, come on, guys. Come on. I get that he's had a difficult season. I think he's had a difficult season probably on and off the pitch. And I think the off the pitch stuff has probably impacted him on the pitch. And I think he had a good performance in the FA Cup. I genuinely think I felt like that battle against Kyle Walker, the 1v1 battle, he was definitely struggling. Not a lot of people get the better of Kyle Walker, but I do think his link ups were a lot better. And especially that switch and nobody talks about the switch from Rashford to Garnacho for the second goal. I think everyone talks about Bruno's one, the fact that Bruno and Kobe covered a lot of grass to get forward. But that switch was immaculate. I haven't seen him play that kind of switch in a long, long time. I think it's been like 4 years since I've seen him trying to attempt that. So you lot can have your opinions on Rashford. I got my opinions on Marcus Rashford. I got my opinions of what the last couple of years have been, especially the last season. But I don't know, man. To want him to join Arsenal, that's crazy. To me, that's crazy. Choice Superstar says Joe B. Oh my God, Choice Superstar called out Joe Blackman on UV the other day. I don't think Joe Blackman was there, but he basically sent in a super chat during the match view, and it was like, Joe Blackman, KG, this person, you're a disgrace. But anyway, Choice Superstar says Joe B and Minnow, we did not even control the first half. We defended well, 27% possession. We are counted well. 9 times out of 10, City wins that game. Watch again. 9 times out of 10. Yeah, if you're saying 9 times out of 10 they win the game, guess what? The one time that they should have won it, they didn't. If I'm using your logic, of course. Defending well, can I say, is not a bad thing. Troy here is saying we defended well and we countered well. That's good. There's some people that shit their pants when they're defending. We've seen United shit their pants multiple times this season defending, guys. We've seen United choke and shit their pants in transition, in attacking transitions. We've seen the bad decisions be made. We've seen it. So why is there no praise for that? Instead, we're saying, oh, we had 27% possession in the second half, or any other day City would win that. Like, come on, guys. Come on. This is the one that hits me the most, guys. I can't lie. This is the one that hits me and upsets me the most. I cannot believe we are letting Raphael Varane leave. I can't believe it. I really can't believe it. For me, it's unfortunate. Sorry, guys. I gotta stay hydrated. Let me see what the chat is saying before we actually get to this. Red Sky Claire says there's more to controlling a game than possession. We let them have the ball on purpose, which is a game plan. That's a tactic. Buggy says there's a difference between having 70% possession and doing something with that. 70% Man City went nowhere most of the game. Blind alleys. They were going down a lot of blind alleys. Now, I've been critical of Erik Ten Hag, and I'm actually still a bit critical about him. About having one player that you need to make a difference. And I'm talking about Lisandro Martinez. Not just Lisandro Martinez. He also, Ten Hag has alluded to the fact that he needs a De Jong kind of player. Excuse me. That's important to the way that he wants to play. Now, Pep Guardiola spoke about this. After the game, I think he said Lisandro Martinez is top 5. He said Lisandro Martinez is top 5 centre-backs in the world. BBC, bro, they are disgrace. Oh my God, the BBC, during the game, I was watching it on BBC, and they were talking about Martinez, And why was the first thing the commentator said? I think it was Shearer that said it. He's one of the best 5'8", 5'9" defenders, and he started laughing. I still don't get how that's a discourse. I still don't get how the height thing is a discourse. Like, I genuinely do not understand it. However, I wish this is gonna be one of the stories I tell my kids about, like 20 years from now. Like, oh, they're gonna be like, Mom, tell me about, you know, the days of Lisandro Martinez and Varan. And I'm gonna be like, when we had it, it was great. It was amazing. 2 cup finals with them, 2 trophies. Obviously, the top one is the Carabao, bottom one is FA Cup. And there was reports suggesting that they couldn't agree new terms with Varane. So I don't know if it's because he was not willing to take a big pay cut. Of course, because United are now in Europa League, there won't be a salary percentage increase for the team, because that percentage increase only happens when it's Champions League. United will make about 40 million-ish from Europa, plus obviously match day revenue, all of that stuff, broadcasting, all of that kind of stuff. I just wish Varane stayed. I really like. I cannot emphasize this enough. I don't want to hear, oh, he's injury prone, oh, he's this, oh, he's that, because when he's fit, you see what you get. Him and Martinez have been one of the best partnerships that we've had, I would say, post Rio and Vidic. I would actually say they are the best. Actually, they are the best partnership that we've had post Rio and post Vidic. We have Rojo, flipping Phil Jones, Lindelof, Maguire, Chris Smalling, Tuanzebe, Fosu Mensah, all these random people have Daley Blind, all these random centre backs that we've had over the last 10 years. And for me, easily these two are the best. Now, obviously, in an ideal world, Raphael Varane would have joined Manchester United earlier in his career. In an ideal world, when he was, I think, at Lens, and Zidane convinced him to join Madrid instead of United when Sir Alex Ferguson wanted him. I wish he joined United maybe a year or 2 earlier. That would have been better. But of course, shit happened in it. But for me, I don't know, man. I just had to put this up because for me, this is a very sad reality. This is a very sad reality. But let's talk about the news across the last, I would say, 2 days since the back of the FA Cup. Since the back of the FA Cup, this has been the discourse surrounding Manchester United, and it's this managerial hunt. Let me just see if. Let me actually just make sure that there's no new news right now. It doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like there's anything new. Nah, there doesn't look like anything's new. So let's get into this. Roberto De Zerbi has been sounded out as a potential replacement for Erik Ten Hag as Manchester United if INEOS choose to move away from the Ten Hag way. Sir Jim Ratcliffe has been impressed by De Zerbi's attractive possession-based style of play, and he has been contacted by Manchester United with regard to succeeding Ten Hag. Now, I'm not gonna lie. I just feel like names are just flying around next, like left, right, center. I feel like names are just. How many people have United been linked to in the last couple months? However, I do think the names that we're seeing now, and I'm gonna go into it in a lot more detail about the breakdown, etc. It seems like there's a solidified list: Thomas Tuchel, Roberto De Zerbi, Kieran McKenna, Pochettino, and Thomas Frank, and Erik Ten Hag. That's 6 managers. Now, I think INEOS are just doing their due diligence of looking at other managers if they choose to part ways with their manager. I don't think what they're doing is wrong, because I think that this was the plan March, April times. I don't think INEOS anticipated United to make the FA Cup and then eventually make it into Europe. I don't think they anticipated that. And I don't think they anticipated not only to get this far in the FA Cup, but for Erik Ten Hag to win it in the manner that they did. So that kind of put them into a bit of a reality check. Of course, the domino effect of United winning the FA Cup is a lot more people, i.e. the fans, are backing the manager and wanting him to succeed because they feel like they've been rejuvenated with success. They feel like that. And that's why I always say football is a results-based thing. You get results, people will back you. You get a result in a cup final and everyone will forget about the last 8-9 months. Everyone will forget about that because of that one moment of joy that you brought them. So I don't think Ineos anticipated that. I think all of this, interest in the Zerbi, meeting with candidates or meeting with people's representatives, I think that would have happened regardless of if Manchester United made the FA Cup final. I think it was going to happen regardless. And I think right now, Ineos are just being forced to continue with their due diligence and making the decision. I think Sir Jim Ratcliffe won't have a heavy say in it. Because Sir Jim Ratcliffe essentially has brought in people to make these decisions. His decision or his opinion shouldn't sway the decision of anybody. Because he's not a football guy. He don't know what, let's be real. He does not know. Why is it important that Sir Jim Ratcliffe has been impressed by Serbi's attractive possession style of play? Why should that change the opinion of the people that he's brought in to make those decisions? I'm talking about the Ashworths, the Baradas, etc., etc. I appreciate it. I appreciate the fact that he might have an opinion on De Zerbi, but it should not sway anything. Manchester United officials have also held talks with representatives of Thomas Frank, Maurizio Pochettino as well, as they continue to explore their options. And this also follows soundings with Kieran McKenna and Thomas Tuchel's camps. So they've met with 5 different representatives. I think maybe the positive thoughts of this is that they've probably, before meeting with all these guys and all these representatives, they probably met with Ten Hag directly. They didn't have to meet with his representatives. They probably met with him directly, probably like a month or so ago. And I have a theory they have, because I do think that suddenly Erik Ten Hag has been playing this counter-attacking style, Newcastle, Brighton, and then in the FA Cup final. Literally, I wouldn't say identical performances, but identical setups and shapes. And it makes me wonder, is that a direct instruction? Was that a direct instruction off the back of that Arsenal game? Because it was reported that he met with the Manchester United seniors, what was it, before the Arsenal game? A week before the Arsenal game, which is around the Palace time, the time that United played Palace. And suddenly after the Arsenal game, we see a shift in style of football. And not only that, we've seen it in reoccurring games, 3 games in a row, which led to 3 wins. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a conspiracist. But listen, you lot, people getting on to me calling me flip-flop. Ed says no flip-floppers will forget the last 9 months. I don't think anyone forgets a cup final does not change the reality of what the season has been. It doesn't do that. It does not do. The cup final for me does not change what the reality of the football season has been. And the reality of that is that across the course of 38 games in the Premier League, United have been poor. Plus the 6 games in the Champions League, United have been atrocious. The Carabao Cup, 3rd round, I think it was, knocked out. That does not change the reality of it. But during that, and this is maybe a question to those of you who want Erik Ten Hag out. Don't you think that Erik Ten Hag's point has been proven? That when he has the players that he needs available, he can play a certain way. Now, I don't know if what United played on Saturday is Erik Ten Hag's style of football. I don't think it is. I'll be right. I don't think that's his style of football. But I do think that could be the style of football that I think it's the style of football that is being pushed on him, and he's maybe integrating it into the team. I don't see how people cannot, I don't want to say sympathize with him, but understand where he's coming from, because all Ten Hag has been saying throughout the season is he's been talking a lot about the injuries, and we see now. And I know the sample size is small, guys. It's a small sample size, but let's not underestimate the magnitude of that sample size. It wasn't an FA Cup game. It wasn't a preseason game. It wasn't a FA Cup third round game. It wasn't a random Premier League game. This was a FA Cup final against the best team in the world. It's the best team in Europe. A team fresh off of doing a treble last year, on their way to do a double this year, off the back of 4 Premier Leagues in a row. Let's not undermine that. I understand that the sample size is small. It's one game. And I know people are saying, how can your opinion change based on one game? People's opinions, I think, have changed because winning that trophy has instilled some confidence into them. Let's be real. There is not a Man United fan out there this year, I would say, after the FA Cup final, that was not ecstatic, whatever. That was not joyed, prideful after winning the FA Cup. I know people, the staunchest Ten Hag outers and the most loyal Ten Hag inners, all felt the same emotion. And that is why people's opinions have probably changed. That is probably why, because of the emotion and the feeling that they felt. Now, I'm now looking at it from all the managers that United are linked to. Poch. He's been sacked from how many jobs? Let's not have that conversation though. But Poch, Tuchel, McKenna, Thomas Frank, Roberto De Zerbi, or Erik Ten Hag. Are you guys genuinely telling me that out of those 6 managers named, 5 of them are better than Erik Ten Hag, or is the better option? When a manager only has one more year on their contract, I see it like this. Summer, for me, summer is a big. This is Ineos's or Manchester United's biggest summer in a long time, because if they do change managers, which is, I said this months ago, I said if United are going to change managers, they have to do it before the Euros. They have to do it before the Euros, sack the manager and bring in the manager that they want. Do that, because selling a project to players that you're trying to buy and trying to target, I'm telling you, that will be near enough impossible when you've not got a manager to be the face of it. How can you go to a player? How can you go to a Fofana? How can you go to, I don't know, De Jong, hypothetical, yeah? How can you go to these people and say, oh, this is the project that I have, but it's like saying, come eat in my restaurant, but I'm still trying to find a head chef. You don't know if you're going to flipping like the food or not. So why would you go to the restaurant? It's just that's my thoughts. I still have my reservations about Ten Hag. I do. Like I said, I cannot overlook what the season has been. The worst performing Premier League season in a long time, many years, multiple records broken, Champions League. But like I said, this is my question to everybody who is still not sold on Erik Ten Hag. Do you genuinely think that the 5 managers that United are linked to right now are any better than what Manchester United have? Do you genuinely think that? And if we wanted change with Ineos in comparison to the Glazers, why would you want the manager to be treated the same way that managers were treated under the Glazers? Does that make sense? The Glazers did Louis van Gaal dirty. They did him dirty. Even though it was off the back of a boring Premier League season and a FA Cup that we were lucky to win in the final. I think it was like a Lingard against a Palace, mid-table Palace. Yeah? You flip the script and look at Ten Hag's side. Poor Premier League season. Poor Champions League campaign. A run of games in the FA Cup coming up against 2 of the better teams in England at the time, Liverpool and City, and outclassing them. In particular, City. I'm just genuinely curious to know if De Zerbi, Tuchel, Frank, McKenna, Poch, if people genuinely feel like they are the better option. I just want to know that. I just want to know. Troy says, child just waiting for the sword to fall. Dead man walking. Troy is the only person that I've seen all season calling Ten Hag a dead man walking. Like, Troy has been consistent. I think my first ever interaction with Troy was on United View when I first joined. And that was only a couple of months into Ten Hag's reign. And he was saying, Ten Hag out. Get him out. Get him out. Get him out. Troy has been consistent. I know you lot don't like it. I know you don't like it, but I have to respect the consistency. Troy has not been a flip-flopper like any other people. No names. No names. But hey, you lot can't shame me for flip-flopping. You know why? Because I cannot be shamed. I can't be shamed. You can't shame me. I grew up as the youngest child. You cannot embarrass me. You cannot embarrass me. There is no embarrassment that I haven't dealt with as a young child. There's so you lot can say, Minna, you're shameless, you're this, you're that, you go. Guys, fun fact, when people are presented with new information, opinions change. If we lived in a world where you make an opinion or a statement opinion and you can't change it, what the hell happened to democracy, man? What the hell happened to freedom of speech? Huh? What happened to having your own opinion, man? Fun fact, guys. You can change your opinion if you want, man. Jesus. Shout out Jesus. Is that Klopp crying in the picture? What the hell? Says derailed Klopp, destroyed shitty, Geordies out of Europe, Chelsea in Wi-Fi password league, Arsenal out of Community Shield, Erik Ten Hag is a killer. You know what's funny, guys? I know that we talk about everything that Ten Hag has done, yeah. But let's not, like I said before, let's not get carried away with what the reality of the season has been. Yeah. And actually, you know what? This is the perfect opportunity to actually come back to this. This is actually the perfect opportunity to come back to this because this is hilarious. Like, this has to be the funniest. Like, if you missed it at the beginning of the stream, Arsenal fans, and shout out to Igal because he just makes me laugh all the time. Arsenal fans asking, what is more important, domestic trophies? Domestic trophies. There's an example of a domestic trophy. What is more important, guys? Domestic trophies or league progression? Oh man. And I'm actually reading the comments, the replies to it. I didn't read the replies to it, by the way. I didn't read the replies to it. Someone says, aren't you the fans that constantly mock Spurs for not winning trophies? And then Igal replied, bro, there's a difference between not winning a trophy for 5 years and not getting any major trophy for 56 years. I don't know, man. I don't know. Give me a trophy any day of the week. But I just had to share that again because that comment just reminded me of that. I just saw a comment. Here you go. Here's Saeed. Big up to Saeed. Says, Ten Hag out. That fan letter was pathetic. Which other club would do that? I saw a fan letter flying around online. There's been quite a few letters, guys. I don't know, man. It seems like we're on Romeo and Juliet settings because I've seen quite a few letters flying around in the last 24 minutes. In the last 24 hours, sorry. Including obviously the letter from Bruno ahead of the FA Cup final. Then there was a letter from Man United players after the FA Cup final. And then today there is, let me see if I can pull it up. Let me see if I can pull it up for you guys. There's a letter from the fans. I don't know who exactly. Let me find it. Ugh. What the hell, man? United fans letter. Where is this letter? I'm writing you a letter. This is to my unborn child. That is a Tupac song. Why am I singing a Tupac song? Here it is. I have found the letter. The letter in question is a open letter from Manchester United fans to Ineos and the Glazers, and it reads, "Dear Ineos," someone just wrote it on the notes app, by the way, on their phone. So it's not really a letter. It's just on the notes app. However, I'm going to read it. Dear Inos and the Glazer family, we as Manchester United fans have been reading quite worrying reports in the lead up to and after the FA Cup final this Saturday against Manchester City regarding Erik Ten Hag's futures. We have been reported that Erik Ten Hag is going to be departing the club at the conclusion of the season, and the majority are in disagreement with this decision. Erik Ten Hag has not had his best season, but he has had enough. He has had tough cards dealt, 60 plus cases of injury, instability as a result of the sale process, the media's portrayal of him and his squad alongside much more. Erik Ten Hag does not deserve to leave this football club. He's 2 years into a project in which he's brought home 2 trophies, more than any other manager since Sir Alex Ferguson. That's not true. Jose brought in 2 trophies in his first year, but okay. And it's not always been perfect, but he's done very well. I can say as Manchester United fan, I do not want Erik Ten Hag sacked. Bro, is this the actual letter? I don't think this is the actual letter. I just think I just ended up reading someone else's letter. Is everybody just writing letters? Where is this letter? I don't know, man. But I think the letter was along that gist, that sort of gist where they don't want the... Shout out to the Academy Scoop, who has just posted an update, and they've always been very, very accurate. Academy Scoop, if you lot are not familiar, post a lot about Academy stuff, has said, I'm told Manchester United's decision makers have come away from the recent round of managerial talks most impressed by Kieran McKenna. The Ipswich boss also fits Ineos' criteria for a young manager, as well as being well suited to head coach role relative to alternatives. So they haven't made a decision. They haven't made a decision per se, but within the first round or within this round of review, they are impressed heavily by Kieran McKenna and they're leaning towards him. Now, listen, I don't know what's going to happen. Oh, it's okay. Okay, now I know where to find that letter. I'm not going to share it on my screen, but I will read it to you guys. Let me see where is this letter? Come on. It is that same letter that I was just reading, guys. It's that same letter. It is that same letter that I was just reading. So it's literally, I thought it wasn't, because I thought, did somebody, how can this be an open letter when you wrote it on your notes app? It's got over 6,000. Damn. It's gained a bit of traction. So the gist of the letter is, it's not, I don't know who wrote it. I don't know who wrote it. It says it's signed by fans of Manchester United. I don't know if they sent it to everybody in the world to sign it. I don't know who the creator of the letter is, but the gist of it is, do not sack Erik Ten Hag. The fans want Erik to remain, and the Wembley fans chanted his name and his praises. We're in a positive project. Please do not press reset. Listen to the majority of fans. Keep Erik and give him your full support if you do care about our club. Yours sincerely, fans of Manchester United. Now, I get it. People just probably just want to have their opinion heard. Are they really gonna listen to this a letter circulating the internet from open fans? I think if they're gonna take into consideration, like I definitely think they might consult with fans, especially with the supporters clubs, etc. I definitely think that they will consult with fans, but I don't think that their opinion will be swayed solely off of what the fans are saying. Amar says, I think his contract is the biggest issue. He has so much control legally that Ineos will want control over. It's all about his contract. Do you think that it's written in his contract to, like, all these implications of things that he's had involvement with? Transfers, academy, all of that kind of stuff. Do you genuinely think it's written in his contract? Because they could just rip it up and say, you know what, we're changing your contract. We're changing some of the terms, but the financial part of your contract will stay the same. That could literally be it. Now, that would be up to Erik Ten Hag to say, okay, fine. You can alter my contract a little bit, but the main foundation of it will stay the same. I'll continue to be the first team manager, etc., etc. I've said this time and time again, and it does kind of relate to what I was just reading. What we're just reading from the Academy Scoop, I've been alluding to that for ages. I said that Manchester United and Ineos look like they want a coach rather than a manager. And I think when we talk about a manager, I think a lot of people in the Premier League are coaches. And then I think there is a few people who have been in the past and the present managers, people that manage. They are involved in everything across the board of the club. Their value and their opinion holds weight in all the big rooms. That is a manager. That is someone that's got their finger in every single pie. Sir Alex Ferguson, of course, for me is the biggest example of that. Historically has had influence like that. But I've said this time ago, when Ineos was coming in, I said they're probably going to go down a route of a head coach. And when I say a coach, I don't want to say it's a yes man, but it's more so someone that is just tasked with implementing the tactical aspect of the game and the coaching philosophy. When it comes to say next season United got Kieran McKenna. Say United got Kieran McKenna next season. And he's tasked with a situation with, I don't know, Amad Diallo. Say he has an issue with Amad Diallo in the same way that Erik Ten Hag had an issue with Jadon Sancho. Kieran McKenna will not be tasked with dealing with it. He will not be tasked with dealing with it the same way that Ten Hag has had to deal with the decisions behind Cristiano Ronaldo, Jadon Sancho, etc., etc. He will just be tasked with focusing on training, focusing on match day, focusing on getting 3 points going into every weekend. The structure, and we love that term, don't we? We love that term. The structure will be responsible for dealing with that. And I think that's what the difference is between a manager and a head coach. I think as a head coach, your opinion in the big says does not hold as much weight as a manager. And I've always had this idea that there's two different styles. There's the manager and the head coach route. And I do think United will go down that route of a head coach. Like, for example, I think Pep is a manager. Despite the fact that he's had all this structure around him, I still think he's a manager. I still think he has a major say in a lot of stuff. Now, for me, the most annoying thing, and I've said this earlier, the most annoying thing that is off the back of a FA Cup win. Wait, hold on. Sorry, I'm reading people's tweets. I'm very interested to see. Like, I love seeing people's opinions. I love seeing people's opinions about this. Obviously, this situation. A lot of people are saying either how are you sacking him after the what's it called? Winning the FA Cup, and then a lot of people are saying you can't keep or sack a manager off the back of one game. You can't, which I kind of get that. I kind of understand that. Choice Superstar says, we'll say this now. Good coach plus 4 players, we will win the Premier League. I think Man United are about 2-3 years off from winning a Premier League. I'll be honest. And you're not going to say, your standards are in the mud. You become Spurs, you're this, you're Arsenal. But I think United are about 2-3 years. And for me, it's just because of the uncertainty that surrounds what the hell is happening with Erik Ten Hag right now. Like, because there's so much uncertainty surrounding, all of that. For me, United are still some time away from winning a Premier League. There is still some time to go. There is still a journey. There is still the difficult decisions to make. People are reporting, and when I say people, I'm using that term very lightly. Members of staff and most players are disappointed and confused why Ineos are thinking of sacking the manager. There's a sense something exciting is being built at the club under Erik Ten Hag. Let's get these buzzwords out. Exciting, change, progress, process. All of that. These are buzzwords. Let's look at it from a complete kind of oversight. But quickly before I do that, good question here from JJ says, should it be like the women's team where Ho was the coach and Skinner just the manager, though a shit one at that? Mark Skinner shouldn't even still be the manager of Manchester United women. The thing is, to be a manager, I think you have to have personality. I think you have to have also good man management. You have to have your people skills have to be 10 out of 10 to deal with all the different personalities and all the different people that you will probably rub shoulders with. I would love to see. Like for me, Mark's gonna get in a 1-year contract. The only thing, I don't think that they buy into what he's building. I don't think they buy into that. I think that it just gives them enough time to get the house in order. It gives them time to get Manchester United men's team in order before they kind of move over to making decisions for the women's team. Like, that's it. Like, if Erik Ten Hag stays, I think that they're buying into what he's building, but also it's he's only got 1 year left on his contract, so let's just keep him for another year. Some people have been saying or suggesting, how can Ineos come in and make a decision within 4 or 5 months? But Ineos have had the opportunity to watch, whether from a close or from a distance, they've had the chance to see what has been happening with. Obviously, only once they've come in, they've probably known the ins and the outs of Manchester United over the last 2 years whilst Ten Hag has been there. But they've having hands on the ground, or feet on the being actually there for the last 5 or so months has given them an opportunity to see everything from a closer angle, being able to see how, you know, people operate at Carrington, how the foundations of the club, by the way, and when I say foundations of the club, I'm talking about, you know, the club as a whole, the different departments of the club, getting to see how they all operate outside of football. Maya Leticia, yeah, I got the email. Shout out to Maya Leticia, man. That's her first England call up, so hopefully she will get to be number 250 something, I think, of England players that have made their debuts. So shout out to Maya Leticia for that. Manchester United, I won't say a legend, but she's a big part of Man United. Troy says, any doubters, we were third last season, Ten Hag out now. When do you guys think a decision will be made? I think a decision will be made this week. This week. I don't know what it is. I'm leaning towards, because I don't think the FA Cup was the end all or be all. The fact that they had met with Ten Hag way before the end of the season was proof that the FA Cup was not going to be the decider. It was not going to be the decider as to whether he stays or not. That would not have been the decider. I think the decider, the conversations were had. The FA Cup was just an icing on the cake, not just winning it, but in the manner that United won it as well. Of course, they would have to, if they're exploring their options, they will have to meet with other managers and other representatives to gauge the market and see what's out there. But the fact that they had this conversation with Ten Hag weeks ago just shows that it was not end all or be all. You know, win the FA Cup and you keep your job. Like, the only thing that kind of also makes me think that he might not stay is the fact that if it was not reliant on the FA Cup win, they would have come out a long time. I just feel like they would have come out a long time ago and said, you know, we're planning for a future with Ten Hag. Like I said, I've seen Sir Jim Ratcliffe speaking on multiple occasions over the last couple of months, whether it's, you know, on a cycling podcast, whether it's to Sky, whether it's his media day that he did ahead of, you know, the announcement that INEOS were taking over, whether it was Sky News when he was talking about Brexit and then they asked him about some Manchester United stuff. I've seen Sir Jim Ratcliffe talk multiple times, and not once have I seen a stern opinion or a stern statement made about the manager. And this has been a manager whose future has been in, you know, flying around in the works, all of that kind of stuff. It's not a secret. The conversations have been there. So I do think that makes me probably feel like they are definitely, like, what's it called? They haven't put all their eggs in one basket and they're gauging the market. Samuel Lockhurst posted, oh, shit. I've never been on stream when there's been any big news, so I don't really like that. Oh my days. This is big. This is big. And we're gonna read it together, guys. We are gonna read it together live. Live reaction. Samuel Lockhurst reporting that Manchester United are considering keeping Erik Ten Hag. Let me make that just the perfect size. Yep, there you go. Samuel Luckhurst reporting that Manchester United are considering keeping Erik Ten Hag as Manchester United manager. Erik Ten Hag has guided Man United to 2 trophies in 2 years, and the club is reviewing his second season before deciding. So they're still reviewing. They're still reviewing. United officials have reportedly notified representatives of potential replacements that they have not discounted the possibility of keeping the Dutchman after he guided the club to their 13th FA Cup. Obviously, Ten Hag is under contract at United until next year, and the club has an option of an additional year. Now, this is where things will get a bit interesting. United have assessed a number of possible successors and have held dialogue with intermediaries over the last couple of weeks. The club have stressed a review of the season will begin this week and no decision or action will happen before that review is completed. Ipswich Town manager Kieran McKenna, of course, that's someone that United have been linked to, withdrew. He withdrew as a candidate to take over Chelsea as his preferred decision is United. He's reluctant to rush into a decision after leading Ipswich back up. Now, obviously, he's just going into a bit more detail. He says a report on Friday claimed Ten Hag would be sacked no matter the result of the FA Cup final. External sources have expected Ten Hag to be dismissed, obviously because United missed out on Champions League. United co-owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe has declined to offer Ten Hag reassurances over his future as United consider their options. And this is what I kind of mentioned a bit. So the people behind this kind of decision making is Umar Barada, Dan Ashworth, obviously expected to come in. Former chief executive Richard Arnold and Murto have both left. So this is just giving a little oversight. I'm not gonna lie, guys. Does this feel like an opinion piece? Is there, because there's nothing really new except for the line and the title of the article. That's it. The title of the article is really the only new piece of information, but the article does not really go into detail about anything else. Now, of course, right now I think everybody's just waiting for news. I feel like everyone's eager for news, so the internet's going to be eating this shit up. Let me see what people are saying online. Yeah, people are going mad. People are going, as expected. United fans are just waiting, like I said, on a lot of they're just relating on a lot of information. De Zerbi and Thomas Frank are now being linked to the Chelsea job. It's a real merry-go-round here. But I think this is kind of what a lot of people might have wanted to hear. I think this is maybe what a lot of people might have wanted to hear. Of course, Friday it was suggested that he will be leaving. Now he's saying that they're even considering keeping him. I think a decision needs to be made by the end of the week, guys. I'm not going to lie. Ten Hag, by the way, has gone on holiday now. I think he went on holiday on Sunday. So unless they're going to call him and sack him while he's on holiday with his family, that's a bit mean. But a decision needs to be made this week. And by the end of the week, a decision should be made because, like I said, and like it's been alluded to here, this has not been a decision that, this has not been a review that has just started on Monday. This has been a review that has been ongoing for a number of weeks. They've been meeting with intermediaries and representatives for the last couple of weeks. They've met with Ten Hag nearly, how long ago? 3 weeks ago. So this is something that has been in the works for a number of weeks. They should not drag out the decision. It's a big decision to make, but it should not be a decision that's dragged out. The sooner that they make a decision, the sooner that the team and the club can move in the direction that they want to move in. Whether it's the direction of Erik Ten Hag or it's the direction of another manager, they can put the foundations in place to offload the players that they need to in the summer and keep it going. That is simple. Like for me, that is the thought process behind why I think they need to make a decision, and they need to make it as soon as possible. The longer they leave it for, I feel like the longer the speculation goes on, the longer the rumor goes on, the longer the clickbait content goes on, the longer, you know, the misquotes from aggregators on social media continue. Make a decision this week. You've had enough time to analyze, I think, all the different suggestions and the different scenarios and the different potential outcomes. If it's not solely led on whether Erik Ten Hag won the FA Cup or not, and it's on other aspects such as Champions League, such as Premier League, such as performances, etc., and the height of the performances, i.e., the batterings that United have taken, etc. If those are the main contributing factors to a decision, then make the decision now. Now, I think maybe if they have made a decision on Erik Ten Hag and they've decided that he might leave and they're not going to continue with him, I think the big decision for them is trying to decide which manager are they going to go for. Are they going to go for a McKenna? Are they going to go for a Poch? Are they going to go for De Zerbi? Like, what is the decision? And I think that is... I'm trying to phrase this as good as possible. I think if they have deciding whether Erik Ten Hag stays or not is a big decision. But I think the bigger decision is if they decide that they are not going to continue with him, it's the replacement. Because everything that manager does will be under a big microscope. Like everything. The way that we talk about Mourinho, me shamelessly, but the way that I talk about Mourinho, the way that people talk about Oli, Van Gaal, etc. People talk about Ten Hag like that if he leaves. People and Ineos will be under a microscope. The manager they bring in will be under a microscope. They will be on that manager's back from day dot. Because Erik Ten Hag left United on a high. It's not like where it got toxic and the situation got bad. So I genuinely think that a big decision to make is whether they keep with Ten Hag, stick or leave for Erik Ten Hag. But I think the bigger decision than that will be who replaces him. Because if they bring in the wrong person to replace him, if they bring in De Zerbi and it's not immediately good and continuously good, and there will be no room for error for the manager that comes in that replaces Erik Ten Hag. And I'm speaking from like a fan perspective. I think fans who have been on, 5-6 managers over the last 10, 11 years, they're going to be like, you have to be good from the jump. People will not buy into the idea of a progress or a process or all of that kind of stuff. Success will be expected imminently, and that is a toxic kind of situation to come into. And that's why I think Ineos themselves might lose a lot of fans if they sack Ten Hag. And you could counter it and say, well, what if Ten Hag gets sacked and a new manager comes in and immediately competes for the Premier League or immediately wins Europa League? But then you could say the flip side is what happens where a new manager comes in and he's struggling to implement anything. He's not getting the players that he wants. He's not being able to make the decisions that he needs. His hand is being led to make specific kind of decisions. That there's obviously, I think, either could be said. Either can be said. But big up to everyone. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. JJ says it's either the decision is already made and they'll announce it when he's back from his holes, or they're cooperating with the review. I think it's one or the other. I think Ten Hag kind of knows, because he never really, after the FA Cup final, Ten Hag didn't sit there and plead for his job. He didn't beg for his job. He said, I win trophies. That's what I do. If you want to keep me, good. If you wanna keep me good, if you want to let me go, I'll go win trophies elsewhere. He's talking his talk. That's not a man for me that sounds like he's under threat. And he has continuously, can I say also, Erik Ten Hag has continuously reassured himself in the media that he's safe. Like, he has done that. I don't know if you guys remember, but he's done that continuously across the course of the last couple months. When he's been asked about his future, he has said it. I will be here. Yeah, we're planning for next season. Getting ready for next season. Yeah, we've spoken about next season. He's never said, oh, I don't know if I'll be here. Oh, I don't know, what's going to happen next season. Oh, I don't know what's going to happen in the summer. He's never said that. He's always said and been confident in him being here next season. And it's been mentioned in this article, of course, that United are considering keeping him, but it's also been mentioned that he's got a 1-year option next season. So Ineos might look at it and be, you know what? He's got 1 year left. We don't have to pick his option to keep him after that. So let's see how the next year goes. And that is really a gamble. It is really, really a gamble. Now, obviously, I think the situation is different. It'll be different to this season because of the foundations, i.e. the structure around him. But there is nothing to really say that United will come out and play good next season. Like, of course, I can't really talk about next season because until the summer transfers window's finished and we've brought in players and we've sold players, then I can kind of try predict the season. But there is no guarantee to say that Ten Hag will fail next year, and there's no guarantee to say that he will succeed, and vice versa with whatever manager they bring in. But we'll end the stream here. If you've just come through, Manchester United reportedly considering keeping Erik Ten Hag as manager, as reported by Samuel Luckhurst. Has there been anything else? Let me check. Let me just double check if there's been any more news. Yeah, no, there hasn't really been any more news. Manchester United maintain they've not made a decision on Ten Hag's future until they complete the review of their season. So that will take a bit of time. And they've also, I think the biggest takeaway here, I think this might be the biggest part. I think this might be the biggest part. Big up to Staffy in the chat, bro. I hope you're doing well. Man United officials have notified the representatives of potential replacements that they have not discounted the possibility of keeping the Dutchman. So essentially, they've told McKenna's reps, they've told Tuchel's reps, De Zerbi's reps, they've told all their reps that, by the way, guys, all of this meeting with your reps might be a waste of time because we actually might keep Ten Hag. So there might be a reluctance on their end to hold out for the job. McKenna might turn around and sign a new deal with Ipswich. He might turn around, or he might turn around and be like, you know what, Brighton it is. Brighton it is. I think McKenna's the only one that could actually walk away with a job out of those three. Out of Poch, out of Tuchel, out of De Zerbi in the Premier League. I think McKenna will probably go to Brighton. And I think that is quite telling that United... Because, and the reason why I'm mentioning this, by the way, the reason why I'm mentioning this is because I do feel like on Friday, when the news was broken, that Ten Hag will be set regardless of the result. And that was when the news kind of ramped up about McKenna, etc. I do think that was a seed planted by Chelsea in the hopes of rattling everybody and Manchester United in particular, because they wanted Kieran McKenna. That is no secret. And they've now moved away from that because he's holding out. He's playing the long game. Some of these managers are playing the long game. They are sitting around, twiddling their fingers like this, waiting to see INEOS make their decision. And now INEOS are turning around and saying, well, you know what? This might all be a waste of time and we actually might just continue with him. So I think that is, if you are going to take anything away from this, don't take away the fact that, they're saying Manchester United might keep Ten Hag. I think you should take away the fact that they've notified these reps that there is a possibility that they will keep Erik Ten Hag. And that will maybe put them out on ease and not want to wait around for a decision, because right now, everything right now is just speculation. It's just all speculation. Why? I hate getting ads here. It's so annoying. It's all just speculation that's flying around. It's all just everyone wanting to be the first to break the news or mention the news, or everybody that, and that's so annoying. This is in the transfer window as well. This is also in the transfer window as well. But it's annoying. It's annoying. I want to see if any journalists will backtrack what they've said, because some journalists have put their head on the line. They've put their neck on the line. DiMarzio and all of them guys. So it'll be very interesting to see if they'll do that. If they'll be like, you know what, we got it wrong. We got it wrong. Big up to everyone. Be sure to hit the like button and be sure to subscribe on your way out. It's been an interesting conversation today. It's been an interesting conversation. It's going to be an interesting week. It's going to be a very, very interesting week. We've got some content for guys, call-in show. I promise you, tomorrow, call-in show. Hold me to it. Hold me to it. I will do a calling show tomorrow evening, inshallah, God willing. Champions League coming up on Saturday, so we will have some content on the weekend for that. EA streams will be back. EA FC, make United great again. Erik Ten Hag in his tracksuit. I know you lot saw him in that nice little suit, but He's coming back in his tracksuit for EAFC streams. We'll have Marcel back this week as well. I'll try to get Saeed on. If there's anyone you lot think I should have on the channel over the next month or two, especially during the transfer window, etc., let me know. You know what kind of content you're getting here. Nothing outrageous, just honest conversations, respectful conversations. Everybody's opinions being heard on here. That's the vibe that we're going for. So if there's anybody you guys want me to bring on in particular, please let me know. Drop suggestions in the chat. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. How many subs are we on now? I don't be keeping an eye on it. We're not too far off. We're not too far off from 4K. So when we get there, we get there. Big up to everyone. Be sure to hit the like button and be sure to subscribe. Before I wrap the stream up, it's been a difficult couple months, guys. In the world, just not a couple months. It's been near enough 7-8 months. Horrible news today or last night coming out from Palestine, from Rafah, from Gaza. Pray for peace. Pray for justice in the world. Pray for accountability. There's a genocide happening, and it seems like people don't care. It's very unfortunate, but we cannot live in a world of peace. We cannot live in a world of happiness. We cannot live in a world where it's acceptable and it's normalized for women, for children, for adults, for humans to be killed and murdered and brutally murdered in the way that they are being murdered. Like, that's unacceptable. It's not about politics. It's not about religion. It's about being a human at the end of the day. So free Palestine always. I'm out, man. Peace.